Greetings, heathens and heretics, and welcome to another episode of In the Abyss. And this week is a particularly special one because we are down in sunny Bristol. Myself and the voice of reason. We are with, we have the absolute privilege to be joined by Ryan Waste from Municipal Waste just before the guys go on stage tonight. And massively thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
First and foremost, because I know obviously you're going to be tired. It's a long tour, but thanks for giving us a bit of time. Look, we just want to catch up, really. We've been fans of you guys pretty much since the beginning, haven't we? Since it all kind of kicked off with Hazardous Mutation. And, you know, we're sitting here, best part, we're 20 years later, you're 20 years into your career, really, aren't you? And
23, 24.
Yeah, there you go. And you know, you're out on this massive UK tour, and one of the biggest things for us is the fact that bands are coming back to the UK and doing proper tours. So what's sort of driven you to this point of doing a proper tour again? Because
it's been overdue, you know.
Yeah.
Like we had a strong presence in the UK, you know, when we were on Earache, and we'd come over all the time, and we got used to coming over here. And then for some reason, our old booking agency was keeping us in Germany, and we're like, we want to go to the UK. So the band is begging to go to the UK.
Yeah.
This whole time, you know, the last 10 years. And it just wasn't landing, you know? And we're like, all right, we're going to do a pub tour, just our own headlining gigs. Yeah. And this is what that is. And we've been wanting to do this for a very long time. Yeah,
and it's great for us because one of the things, obviously we had COVID and everything went to shit. But since then, it's all big shows and it's £120 a ticket and it's all that kind of thing, or festivals. But this year we had Obituary, Trivium have done a sort of proper UK tour, haven't they? And it's like, everyone's coming back to doing it old school.
What I think about that is like everyone was longing for it, you know, people attending the show as well as the band. So I think everyone appreciates everything a lot more after the pandemic because you realize what you had before that. And now it's like you can feel that energy from the crowd. Yeah. We're excited to be up there, you know, and it's unreal. So it's like back bigger than ever, you know.
So you're 12 months roughly in from Electrified Brain being released. You've probably been everywhere at the minute, haven't you, in the last 12 months in terms of touring? You've done the festival runs and things like that. So how's it all been going down? How's the newer songs been going down on the tour? And you know, when was it? Were you with Creator earlier this year?
Yeah, and then we were with Carcass in the US directly after that. Because the Creator thing got added last minute for us. We jumped on. And then we had already had a full U.S. tour, so it was like back to back to back to back. That's how that was. Which, you know, you can't turn those tours down. No. Those are great gigs. But so with Electrified Brain, everything got put on hold, obviously because of the pandemic. We recorded during the pandemic. We waited a whole year. Everything was done, and we still pushed back the release because the label suggested that we do it when people are going to shows. Yeah. And so we sat on it. We were patient. And then, you know, floodgates opened. So that's kind of how that worked. But yeah, I don't know what else. I
mean, it must have been tough. There's other bands we've talked to that said the same thing. They recorded during COVID and you're having to sit on your music to get it out there. That must have been frustrating. What did you all do with yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, I recorded a Bat record too, my other band. So we did a Waste record and then we did a Bat record right after, both with Arthur up in Philadelphia, Arthur Risk. I mean, we got to sit out and actually write and take our time, because usually it's like we're touring, we go, all right, let's write a record and then like go back on tour. So we just had time for songs to marinate and everything, and I think that showed in the end production, you know. Took our time.
Yeah, I guess.
First time we got to take our time. Since the beginning. Yeah. And what I was going to say, back to your other question, I realized you're talking about playing new songs. We actually relearned our first album songs for this tour, which some of them Nick and Dave and Phil had never played from Waste Them All, because we just reissued that. That came out last week.
I bought it this morning.
I think we got it here today for the first time. So that's from, you know, 2003. You know, we recorded that in 2002. So, I mean, that's over 20 years old. And playing those songs, you know, our drummer has passed away. He was on that. He was 17 on that record, Brandon. And he goes, I just go off on recordings. So he just did the craziest drum lines that a lot of them he just made up on the spot. And me and him wrote them together. And like, I was like, man, you never did that until right now. But it's badass, so let's keep it. And then I didn't even overdub any guitars on that either. I did one track overdub, but I didn't change anything. So it's all live, and just recreating that energy with the current lineup has been crazy. It's been a challenge, even though the songs are more punk and crude, but it's like they're intense. You know?
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing.
So we're doing like a block of 5 of those tonight.
Yeah,
bam, bam, bam. Yeah.
That's cool.
How did the connection with Arthur Rizek come about? Because obviously he's a very wouldn't say big name, but he's a producer de jour at the moment.
Yeah, which is great because he's like a young guy, and it's more that he's just a great person. Like I toured with him, Waste toured with him, like a short run. I think he was doing sound for that band Nails, and we started talking heavy metal, and I realized that we had a lot of things in common. And he's just a really relaxed, like chill temperament type of person, and that's what you want in the studio. So I was drawn more to that energy from him. And knowing that he understood music, he's a great guitarist as well, plays drums, into natural sounds and heavy sounds is what we wanted to get. We wanted to get a more ballsy recording, and we did finally. Because a lot of times it's like, the production, like we don't know how to twist those knobs to get that. Like I can do it on my amp on stage, but it may not get recreated, in the recording setting. And I knew that he could have it dialed. And it's all Marshall amps, all natural drums, no triggers. I hate triggers. I hate samples. So it's all natural stuff. I use my 86 JCM head on it, Marshall head. So
we were talking about that just standing outside, weren't we? How much beefier
I met this guy Danny who worked for Marshall in since the 70s or maybe even earlier. I met him at Milton Keys, and he goes, "Open up your amp." He goes, "I bet my initials are signed on the inside." And because we heard a Marshall rep was downstairs, and me and Nick ran down. And I showed him the back of our record, which has I designed with James Bosa, like the Marshall stacks on fire. And I was like, if this doesn't get us a Marshall deal, I don't know what's gonna get it, And he's like, "Oh, I don't work for them anymore." I was like, "Great." I was like, "Can you put in a word, man?"
Oh, it's fucking cool. Yeah. I mean, going back on the issue of Waste 'Em All, why did you decide to put that back out?
Well, we had put it out on a small label called 6 Weeks a long time ago. We never really had a deal with them. Yeah. We're on Nuclear Blast. We've been there since 2010. So why not have all your stuff under one roof? Because we can't get the rights back to the earache stuff. They won't come off them. We've tried. It was an astronomical amount of money they asked Nuclear Blast for that. So, we're trying to mend our relationship with them too, because it's like this is our music, our art. So we want the records out there. I just want people to have them. I want people to have the actual LP. I'm a big record collector myself, and I make them for myself. I want to have it. So it's just like. We wanted a wider audience to see it. So or to own it. Some people couldn't own it. So it's back out now. Pretty much original layout, and it's a tribute to our drummer who passed. We put a little dedication to him in there. So it's something for the people that couldn't get the first record because it's such a small DIY press before.
Yeah, I picked it up from Black City this morning. And
I love Black City. I gotta shout them out. That's my spot, man. He's always holding our stuff. We stop by there every time.
Yeah, he's fucking legend. I mean, look, we've got I think in the UK we've got 2 metal record shops, haven't we? In the whole fucking country.
We got this Bristol metal quarter. I got a sticker. Yeah. I got a sticker on my record. I'll DJ bars here and there, and I got like a record crate, and I have a Bristol metal quarter sticker on there.
It all circulates
like the Slayer
around
with the Slayer sword cutting through it. Yeah,
it's fucking. No, you're in London tomorrow. If you've got time, there's another.
What's that pub too? Because that's part of it too. There's like
the Griffin.
The Griffin. Yeah. So we went to the Griffin. So we went to Black City and the Griffin. Like that's the.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the community
or the dual effect, whatever you want to say.
It is. It's like that.
Yeah.
If you're in
We're
London
gonna go
tomorrow,
there tonight. Well, is this going out tonight? I don't want to tell people.
It won't go out tonight. No.
Yeah, we're going tonight. You missed it.
We're going on this tonight, so it won't go out tonight. When you're in London, there's another shop called Crypt of the Wizard.
Oh yeah, I've actually heard a lot about that too. I've never got to stop by.
It's a bit more cult.
It's very KVLT.
Yeah, I follow them. So yeah, I see what they got. I'm a used record fan though. I only want to look for used records, so they don't smell right if they're new.
I'm with you on that.
But they got to be new at some point,
It's bargain hunting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm digging in the bins, man.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Municipal Waste, just like general touring challenges at the minute. I mean, I can imagine it's difficult, especially coming to Europe because we've got Brexit, you've got the UK and Europe completely separate now. What are the challenges like?
It's a lot more hoops to jump through. Like I do a lot of the management stuff for the band, like in tax forms. So I did all these like FEU forms, and then you go through this archaic process, and then you send it over, and then they're like, "Oh no, the money changed. It's wrong." It's just it's a lot of pain in the ass. Like
sounds about right.
Clerical stuff you got to do, and then it's a shame. I know it's harder on everybody. It's harder for bands to come through. We can get a COS and come over because we're only over here for 2 weeks, so. Yeah. That was easier. We kind of cruised in through customs, which is nice, which you never know what you're going to get. I mean, it's even hard to get into Canada as a U.S. band.
I've heard.
And that's like, if you have any smidge on your record, that it shows up, So luckily we're pretty. I've been in bands where guys they're like, "There's no way you're getting in here." Not mentioning any names, but we're luckily are above the law for now.
Talking of bands, all of you lot are all in other bands.
Yeah, for sure. Well, everyone's just like creative, and this is what we do.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Dave, I take him out slightly differently because he's been in almost every band under the fucking sun.
Well, he's a little older too.
Yeah, but you all keep yourself busy.
Yeah, big time.
You know, and that's, I suppose that's what it's all about. But it's something else I want to bring up. I don't know how you'll feel about talking about it because it pushes some people's buttons. It's something that we're quite passionate about because it pisses us off. Merchandise cuts in venues.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Have you got an opinion on that?
We're fully against them, you know. Yeah. And then Live Nation just posted this thing that they're taking, which it seems kind of shady. We'll believe it when we see it, you know. But if they do follow through with that and stick with that, great, because no one deserves your merch cut. No one. It's like, okay, you want our merch cut, then give us a bar cut because we're bringing people drinking your beer.
Exactly.
We have to spend so much money to make this merch. That's the reason prices go. We've always tried to keep our prices pretty punk rock. And with the cost of it now, it's like you have to go over what you want to sell it for just to make any kind of like profit off of it because it costs, and there's VAT tax too, which we don't really have that in the States, so that is insane over here. We look at that number, we go, are you kidding me? Just take the t-shirt, just take all the money. So it's like then there's a cut on top of that. It's just like it's the same thing with like taxes. It's just like everyone wants a piece, and I think, you know, who should deserve it? I mean, put that out, put a poll out. Everyone's going to say the band deserves that money.
Fucking right.
And then because we're still paying for it, the costs have gone up for everything.
Do you find you're at a point where actually it's better for you to do a longer tour of smaller venues like this and take all your merch money than actually to do slightly bigger venues where they insist on...
Well, the only time we do bigger venues is usually when we're supporting someone. I mean, we're on our way to be doing that, hopefully, but... So we're at the mercy of the headlining band a lot, and that they'll do merch. You have to, match the merch, which we don't like doing, but we have to do sometimes. But I do like doing the medium-sized venues, and if you do have control of your merch, of course we're gonna want that. But the festivals too, it's like, obviously you might make more in a guarantee, but they're gonna always take a cut. They always sell for you. You're up against a million other bands, so sometimes we just didn't even bring our merch there because it was like it's just such a pain. But you want your shirt out there. I want people to have it. I mean, we got a lot of shirts out there. At least I still see them around.
You've always been well known for.
Well, because like Tony was a screen printer when we first started, and so we were printing them ourselves, and that's why we had so many designs early on. And we've tried to keep it that way, always with fresh stuff.
The festivals are a necessary evil, aren't they?
Yeah, and I love doing them too. As long as we can do a mix of both, we're fine. Like we had just been doing so many festivals. Like this is overdue. That's why we're here doing this now.
Yeah, I mean,
we also did that secret show in Bristol too. I mean, Bristol's got we've given Bristol all the treatment. We gave them a punk show, a show with Anthrax or Creator, and then like a.
I think we saw that and we were like, what the hell?
Yeah, and that was great. That was just a sweaty pub. We're still down to do that kind of stuff.
But it's great fun, isn't it? Because you can still.
That was the hardest show of the tour. I was sweating my ass off.
Yeah, I bet.
You said it's great fun. I was like, man, that one was hard, man. Because that's where we come from. But
it's what you're in it for.
It depends how hungover you are if you want to do that.
Yeah, true. But you literally seeing the whites in people's eyes right in front of you, and you can't get.
Yeah, and we're always going to go back and do that kind of stuff. But sometimes
you fucking stink. Get away from me.
No, it's not even that. It's just like I stink.
You're allowed to stink.
Years ago in Britain, I think you played a venue called the Fighting Cocks in Kingston, outside London. I couldn't get there for the
Fighting Cocks. Fuck it, I did.
They played the Fighting Cocks. Yeah, I was gutted. I couldn't go to that.
Oh man,
so,
that's like 100, if that, isn't it? 100 capacity venue.
Yeah, you try to keep it a quote unquote secret, but that never works either.
Yeah, anything like that, I think metal fans will lap it up, and they'll sniff out a secret.
Or it's more the punk fans, and that's what they want anyway. The metal fans are probably a little scared to go to that stuff. I don't know if there's much of a crossover now with that.
I think
the lines are more blurred now. They're more blurred now than they were.
I think, to be fair, for most of the sort of metal and punk's history, it's been fairly friendly. I think it's just that point in the late 70s when punk was new and causing trouble.
Yeah, and you got Steve Harris dogging it out.
And then
everyone was a fan.
Everyone agreed on Motorhead, and it's like...
Yeah, that's
the happy
That's why, and Motorhead's like one of my favorite bands. That's why it's like right down the middle. Yeah, the first crossover band, Motorhead.
But you talk about crossover. I mean, for where we are now, you guys are... you're kind of originators, aren't you? There's a lot of crossover bands around at the moment. It's on a bit of a high, and there's some great fucking stuff. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't invent the wheel. I mean, obviously, you got bands like Accused and Chrome Suckers, and you know, everyone does the DRI comparison. But I mean, if there wasn't that, I mean, that's like, I was like a amateur guitar player. I was always a bass player, so I was like, you know, I like heavy metal. Can I play it? I could try. So that's what it turned out sounding like, you know.
There is some great fucking stuff around at the moment, though. Crossover.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that that's continued on. I mean, we started when nu metal was at its peak, and I was out to destroy nu metal.
Good.
Because I was like, this is garbage. I grew up on heavy metal. There's nothing like that right now, at least in 99 or 2000. You know, it's like, let's do a band that just crushes all this stuff. That was the driving force, you know.
We are in a,
because I was working in restaurants. I was working at a strip club, and I was cooking, and I'd hear nu metal and like Nickelback and Kid Rock, and I wanted to kill myself. I quit the job. I mean, there's naked women in front of me. I'm like, this is the worst job I've ever had, because the music was so bad.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I started Wasted around the same time, and it was like, this is influencing me in a bad way. I can't take these songs out of my head. I have to quit, and we have to destroy this type of music.
Well, how did you find going alongside, because obviously after nu metal we had metalcore then, didn't we? We had the Kill Switch Engages.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff at all either.
Right, we'll leave that one there.
I'm just not, you know. I mean, I'm outward with it. It's fine. I don't like to talk negative about any particular bands. I just know what I like.
Yeah.
I listen to '70s progressive rock and like AOR before I listen to like something modern like that.
I think one thing about metalcore though is, like you said, nu metal was fucking terrible. We've gone.
It was funny though. At least it was funny.
That's true.
It was good for a
all
laugh.
the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it was definitely good for a laugh.
But it kind of.
And now it's back. Isn't nu metal classic rock now?
No.
The way people are dressing, it seems like that.
Every week there's another nu metal band doing a.
Yeah, at least it's funny,
tour,
man.
But at least it brought proper metal back. It brought proper riffs back and solos back, and everything went back to being proper heavy metal. And we're in that point now, aren't we? Where speed metal and crossover thrash and all this, it's like
there's too many subgenres anyway. That's one thing.
Don't get us started on that. Crossover punk, core, thrash, black and death.
It's always been been something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's worse when the record store breaks it up between all those subgenres. I was like, where's the used heavy metal? That's all I ever want to look at.
That's all you want.
Or hard rock, you know, that was simple. You know.
The further it goes, there will be more and more subgenres. It's got fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Any UK bands on your radar at the minute?
Like newer bands?
Yeah.
Well, we played with like that band Pest Control. Or what's it called?
Yeah, big fans.
You know, I'm not too up on newer UK bands, and I'll probably think of it as soon as the podcast is over. But all my favorite bands are from the UK.
Well,
so
of course.
I'll say that.
As a metal fan.
As a new ever British heavy metal fan, and like Tanks, one of my favorite bands, of course, Motorhead, Priest, like Satan. You know, Satan, I think, is the only old band still putting out relevant records that are amazing, and they're friends of mine too. So I always give Satan a shout.
That's cool. That's a band that doesn't get talked about. I'm not.
They should. I mean, they're an incredible band. Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of playing. Bat has done a bunch of shows with Satan. We did our first shows with Satan.
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool to say you played your first shows with Satan.
Yeah, of course it fucking is. What's the plan now then for the next? You do this tour. What's next?
Well, everything's a secret because what we do is secret, as the germs say. But we lots of touring, you know, writing. You know, I got a Bat record coming out that I've been having to sit on that announcement too. Waste is gonna hopefully do something in Europe again, and you know, we're talking about going back to Australia. States. I mean, I can't really give the details away because it's always got to be a big announcement. But yeah, we're not slowing down. I'll tell you that.
Go on.
Are you going to sort of speed up? Because normally we get, I suppose, these days 5 years between a Waste record. Of course, you sort of do all your side.
And none of that was ever planned, you know. I mean, there used to be less, but I mean, everyone's busy, you know. Pandemic slowed that. We were actually ready to roll, and then the pandemic slowed that one down. So the only lull was between Fatal Feast and Silent Punishment, but we did like a lineup change. Everyone really was doing their side projects a lot. And, you know, when you're going, you need a little breather from, you know, what you've been doing. You know, I've been doing it for 23 years, so it's like, you know, you want to do something different. So, and we're not slowing this down, but it's just like if we did it so constantly, we'd probably lose our minds. Yeah. Or I know I would.
What are personal relationships like in bands when you're sort of when you're living in a bus? And
what's crazy is we get along great, and everyone notices that. Like our crew always is like, "Wow, I can't believe you guys get along," because it's like we've known each other for so long. We've spent more time with these individuals more than our family, even more than our girlfriends and whatnot. Sometimes it's just like you got to get along, you know, and you got to pick your battles if you are upset. But we rarely are getting in arguments. Usually it's something stupid and it's squashed immediately, and it turns into a positive, you know.
Is it getting harder as you get older, do you think?
No, I like to go to sleep, man. Like if I don't want to hang out, I go in my bunk. I can just tune it out, man, or pretend to be asleep. I'll fake sleep. To not talk about some shit.
The photo you guys posted a few days ago, back in 2005 in the Crowbar in London, doing
beer bongs. I used to do a beer bong on stage every night. You couldn't pay me to do that anymore. I don't even drink beer anymore. I just drink cider, man. Cider.
You're in the right fucking city if you're drinking cider.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, and for health reasons too. So I mean, I'm definitely doing a lot better off the beer. So
yeah, you're in the right.
I do love beer, but that was the problem.
But that's it. You get to a point of our age where, you know what, I just want the music.
Yeah, and I definitely have slowed down on drinking. On tour, it's really hard too, though. Like I'll take breaks when I go home. Because we'll die. We will die. The rate we've gone at, because I drank every day from like a teenager into doing a full touring band. I was like, you know, and I could hold my alcohol really well, but I was like, this is killing me. Like I can't recover from it anymore. Anyone, I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but like
we're early 40s,
so I'm 43, you know, so it's like say we're all the same age, so you get it. You cannot recover from a night of partying, and I still do that night, and I pay for it. I'm paying for it for 2-3 days.
Yeah, that's it. The hangovers just
and I don't do drugs anymore either, so I don't do that. Nothing, man.
That's for the younger days.
That sucks. Yeah, I'll do some psychedelic drugs though. Because those are good for you. Those are mind opening drugs.
How do you unwind when you're sort of taking a break?
Well, I was, during the pandemic, I was working on a script, and I finished it, like a heavy metal horror script. I actually, me and my partner, there's a Scottish guy, Jamie Thompson, who used to write for The Guardian. He was like, came on as just like an editor and like kind of typed while I talked. Yeah. And I got another guy, Norman Cabrera, who did a couple of our music videos. He's a Hollywood effects wizard. Like he's worked for Rick Baker and did like Gremlins 2 and worked for Guillermo del Toro. Like he's a legit effects guy. And he's a metalhead. We became friends. Pandemic happened. I had the script. I showed it to him. It was like half a script, and we punched it up into a full-fledged feature. And that made the pandemic great for me because I had Zoom meetings. He's in California. Jamie's, over in Southern Virginia, and I'm, at my house in Richmond, and we're just laughing, writing this film together because I always was into creative writing, and I based it around tour experiences, but made it like supernatural. So it's like very over the top, heavy metal horror, and we're gonna write the soundtrack too.
That's great. Yeah,
you're gonna love it. It's called Exit Stage Death. I haven't released the title.
Nice.
But we're looking for funding right now, and slowly kind of it's like. The touring definitely always gets in the way of it, so hopefully one day I'll be able to take the time off to actually make it happen.
Can you crowdfund it?
I that would be a maybe second to last resort, maybe, because I haven't even really tried to get funding. We're looking for $2 million, so that's like a small budget for a movie. Yeah. That's still an independent movie. Everyone's like, "Wow, that's a lot of money." That's a drop in the bucket in the film industry,
But it's not. I mean, it's that's great to hear because obviously you use a lot of trauma footage in your Headbanger.
Yeah, and this would hopefully go a little level above. Not to knock trauma, but trauma would just put anything out. That you learn that really fast, and then the stuff that they actually produce, like Terra Firma and Toxic. I mean, those are legit movies, but they'll slap their name on a lot of like low budget movies. I wanted to be a little more a tier in that, because it's a serious movie to me. It's as much as it might be dark humor, like it's serious. It's dramatic too.
How do you feel about the upcoming Toxic Avenger remake?
I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch anything. I won't knock anybody's movie because I know how hard it is to make. How to put one out, and especially how much work goes into it.
I mean.
So you're into film, it sounds like.
He's the horror movie man.
Oh, I'm a huge horror collector too. I still have all VHS. Like I don't even buy DVDs. It's all VHS. It doesn't. I don't even get excited. I got a DVD. It doesn't even do anything for me. It's like from a CD to a record. Like it's the same thing. It's It's just the feel that I grew up with them, and I still have a lot of them, that aren't moldy.
Oh yeah, I know people who are the same.
My whole media room is surrounded. The whole perimeter is surrounded VHS. It's like VHS wallpaper, like actual tapes around my whole house.
That's it. Yeah. I'll be happy there.
Yeah, I need to put a little video out of it. I was like afraid to do it. I was like, man, I need to get some security cameras up in here, telling people all the shit I got.
That's it. No, people share their media rooms, and they're just just what you cultivate yourself, but what you love.
Yeah, and it's therapeutic for me to just look at and sort through it. I still go to thrift stores. You can still find some VHS in the wild, but now the prices are getting kind of crazy too.
Not in Britain.
Not out here.
No,
Yeah.
No.
In the States, and we'll tour like a bumfuck city, and that's where you can find some stuff actually.
No.
Yeah, that's
same
crazy.
Same with records.
Yeah, things have gone full circle. I mean, we've been talking about we're vinyl collectors as well.
Yeah,
the price of vinyl's going through the roof, and VHS
and then
next day.
T-shirts now too.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
insane. I mean, the stuff I'm sitting on is crazy. I'll never sell it until I'm like maybe about to croak. And,
But it goes. I suppose it goes in cycles, doesn't it? At some point, it'll drop off again, and
mini
there'll be
discs
something
will come
else.
back, won't they?
Yeah.
Fuck it. If mini discs come back, we may as well give up and fuck off because they were terrible.
All my stuff's on CD-ROM. I don't know about you guys now.
Yeah,
know.
it's digital for
I don't know what that
convenience, and it's vinyl for listening to it properly. There's no need for anything in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck it.
And just to hold it, something tangible. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
The artwork big and everything too.
It's cool. Look, I mean, we'll kind of kill it there because
we could go on forever. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we'll go round and round in circles. But we obviously you got something on tonight which you might need to do. So
we've got a show to play. I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So we'll call it there. But look,
sounds cool, man.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course, man. Cheers, guys. It's great talking to you guys. Nice talking to someone my own age, man. That's great.
Yeah, we're all getting old. We're all going grey. My fucking kids are teenagers.
Hey,
it's just
Well, we actually record
Nothing wrong with
Friday
going
night
grey.
normally, and it's just like
it works out.
Nothing major, nothing hardcore, just a beer.
It's always
chat.
Friday, so we happen to be on a Friday. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One of our guys lives in Saudi Arabia, so it's,
Okay.
So yeah, we're an international.
And do you
affair,
play
but-
music on the show too?
No,
It's just
no
talk
music.
Yeah.
Just
That's
old
fine.
fast
Yeah, just
metal,
talking.
so,
Yeah.
It's all good fun. But yeah, man, thank you so much for it.
Yeah, of
Have
course.
a great one tonight. Enjoy the rest of the tour. We're gonna go drink hard, and we've got someone with us tonight. It's his first ever metal show.
Oh man, well, bring him by. We'll say hello.
So Gav, this one's for you.
Yes.
He's
got
known
you.
in the pit.
Yeah, Gav,
Off you
we
go.
got you, bud.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
And thanks for listening. We're back next week, and stay metal.
Will do.